right. Welcome, everybody. We are the Music Factory. This is episode 1 of our podcast. It's probably nameless right now. We don't know the name of it, but as of right now, it's the Music Factory podcast, straight out of the 818. I'm Big Lex.
I'm Jay Beasy.
Jay Bizzle.
And I'm Nestorius.
El Primo. So, we all gathered today and we thought about it. Like, you know what? A lot of people need to hear where we came from because they've seen us around. I know Jay Bizzle's been around. Primo's been around. We've been at the Key Club. We performed everywhere, so they want to know our background story. So, Primo, first, give yourself an introduction to these people that are hearing us and watching us at the same time. Primo!
You know, I have a hard time giving a description of myself.
Wow.
And I tell you this because every time I'm in a job interview.
Oh, just a baby. You're just a baby.
No. Every time at
the job interviews?
At job interviews, they always tell us about yourself.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm always afraid of disclosing too many because otherwise they're like, I feel like
that crazy look or what?
Yeah, they're like, oh, we hit the jackpot. This guy knows everything. And I was like, oh.
Oh, and we got him for a good price too. Huh?
Hello, everybody.
Primo.
My name is Nestor.
Yes.
So I am multiple things. I am a musician. I've been playing piano since I was 13. So that's kind of been my thing, piano since. Yeah, and also I went to school for animation, media arts. So that was fun.
Yeah.
I stay yet to find a job in the industry. So saturated, but
oh damn, it's one of those.
It is.
Damn,
it's pretty saturated. But hey, I'm not giving hope yet. So,
I mean, you are giving hope to get. You're just not giving up yet.
I'm having a hard time speaking today. It's because Jay Beasy over here.
It makes everybody nervous.
Yeah. He's a smooth talker. You'll hear him right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I most of my work has been with churches.
Yeah.
So I grew up in church, playing in churches. I work with churches. I did a radio editing program. I've done graphic designs and video editing. Yeah, pretty much the whole multimedia. I'm also a sound engineer.
Yes.
Sound system installation.
Yes.
What else?
Techie. Yes.
Yeah. Tech. Yeah, and
his bedroom doesn't look like a bedroom. It looks like a mad lab for a scientist.
Yes. I need a place to do my lab.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's just a little bit about me and what I do, what are my experiences. So right now I'm currently working at a school.
Primo's about the kids.
No, not really. No, I'm done with kids.
I mean, not having kids, but I mean, like, you helped out.
No, I'm done helping kids. These parents, man. These parents.
Yeah, experience.
But
we can get into that subject for later, for sure.
But yeah. So that's just a little bit on myself and what I've done, my work history.
There you go.
And yeah.
And then he's also played a lot of keys on a lot of my beats and other people's beats. He's performed live. This guy's is an artist. He's performed live at the Key Club.
Oh yeah. That was an interesting experience that we had.
Yeah, that one day for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Primo.
Not the same as church.
No, it's not. It's not at all. Didn't you leave church?
I left early church to go play at the Key Club.
Yep.
Because it was almost like an hour drive.
What church was that?
It was in Silmar.
Okay.
I had to drive all the way to, what is it?
Sunset.
Yeah.
West Hollywood. That's what the Key Club was at. West Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Sunset Strip, where the rest right now is Whiskey, Roxy, Key Club. They're all right there, back to back, but no more Key Club.
Yeah, but that if you can see on the video, there's a video.
Oh
there.
Yeah, we can kind of.
You can see I'm in my church outfit.
This guy's buttoned up.
Yeah, everybody else is all dug out and
hip hopped out.
Yeah, hip top down. I'm right here, Reverend, almost look alike. But yeah,
it was sick, super sick.
So here we go.
Next person.
The one and only
Jay Bizzle.
Normally I don't do this.
We are the music
Yeah,
factory.
I'm Jay Beezy,
JJJ.
bass player. I mean, I've been playing bass since I was 14. Not the best bass player in the world, but people like what I do. And that's what.
Shut
really
up,
matters.
bro.
That's what counts, bro.
You are the most funkiest
play my
bass
role.
player than I've ever met.
Man, appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Giving me my
You're
flowers.
not mediocre. You're one of the best ones I think for me in the valley.
Oh,
You definitely inspired me. So
there's definitely better, but appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for the flowers. I don't get flowers that often.
that's why we got to give it to each other while we're still here, brother.
That's right. That's right, man. Story about me. I've been overseas. I've played and.
What did you play overseas?
It sound like a flex and shit,
Yeah,
right? I'm not flexing. I don't flex, but it was like, could I cuss?
Yeah. Fuck that.
Oh yeah, it's like Kendrick Lamar. Sometimes you got to pop out and show niggas. You know?
Exactly.
What you could really do, but I'm very humble. Played with many bands,
Yep.
mostly original bands. Kind of the beginning of the days of me and Lex. I had my metal band, Friction, back in the day. New metal. We were part of the new metal movement. you know,
exactly.
With like Korn, Rage Against the Machine, stuff like that. We were similar styles. As I'm wearing a Rage Against the Machine shirt right now.
For sure.
But I get long winded, so let me know. Shut me up.
No, you good,
Yeah.
man. You just
Yeah.
started.
But I've been playing bass since I was 14. Been in many bands, like I said, traveled the world. For a good, I would say 3 years, I was playing for the military. Wasn't in the military, but this was around 9/11. After 9/11, about 2003. Got lucky. Played in it was a cover band. We played different styles for the military. I've been Iraq, Afghanistan, Bosnia, Kosovo, Germany,
all over the world.
Vienna, lots of places. A bunch of stands you never heard of. Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, all the stands.
Tropistan.
Yeah.
Tropicanistan.
Yeah. If that might even exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, But did that, as a bass player for many years, self-employed. I will flex on that. The first time ever being self-employed, All
It's a good feeling, right?
Yeah, it's a good feeling. Wake up in the morning, all you got to do is learn some songs or in practice, and then maybe in a couple weeks, we're in the airplane,
Yeah, exactly.
And, but part of that journey, real quick, I had met Lex. I don't know if I'm cutting,
No, keep going.
But I met Lex, in my journey of being a bass player. At the same time, I started making beats, and it's really because of Lex, really put me on. My first plugins, blah blah blah. Been making beats at the same time. At the same time, learning how to play bass, learning how to make beats. I also started writing. Lex was a big influence on me as far as rapping, because I've always wanted to rap, but at a young age I was a better bass player than a rapper. I had to get my skills up. Now I'm confident. Definitely confident now.
Yes, sir.
But this the team right here. We're the Music Factory, and we just joined forces to make this music, and
Like Voltron.
Yep.
But we play every position, you know what I'm saying? Multi-talented.
Mm-hmm.
And as for me, everybody, my name is Lex on the beat, Esquivel. Been doing this for over 20 years. Every time JBZ talks about how I introduced him to beat making and stuff like that, it's super dope because with music you influence a lot of people, and you just don't know how, but you do. And so I've been doing it for 20 years, been sticking through. I could talk all day about my journeys of almost getting signed to producing for big artists, and always been close to the door, as I say, like almost walked through the door, but never walked through myself.
Same here.
So yeah, exactly. So we've been, all three of us have been to 3 different journeys, but we've always, not always, but when we got together, it's a big family. That's what we are. We're more than just friends. We're brothers when it comes to this music game. It's now with this content game as well. I met to talk a little bit about how we met. Primo and I, that's my cousin. As you can tell, we almost look alike. Our moms are sisters.
So yeah, our moms introduced to each other.
Yeah, they introduced us.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, you have a cousin. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so that's how we met. Jay Beezy.
By the way, I didn't know you were making beats. You know that? It wasn't until my brother Randy.
Oh really?
He told me like, hey, your cousin.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
How you were also doing your thing?
Yeah, music, and he's like, you know how Randy is. He's like, oh, your cousin's beats are better. She like.
Randall?
Like,
yeah, that's Randall.
Sure. I was like, okay, like yeah, he makes beats. It's like, oh, I didn't know that. And yeah, this is like around the high school area.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, we're making beats, and so yeah, and that's how we met. Yeah, that's how the artist of ourselves met. Yeah,
we do have a picture, or you have a picture.
Oh yeah,
of me as how many years apart? 2 years.
2 years apart.
So I was almost 2, and he was just born.
Yeah, born, and he over there. He probably dropped me.
Yeah, I probably elbowed him. Like, get a little kick. You know what I mean? That's how babies need to get a little kick here and there.
I have trauma.
You didn't even want to tell you about the story about my sister. I was brand new from the hospital. She almost killed me. She put a pillow on my face. She put a pillow over my head because I was making too much noise.
Shut up.
But that's how Primo and I met. And then Jay Beezy, I met him in high school. Jay Beezy and I met at North Hollywood High. They were a year older than me, and they did music, so that's what attracted me about them. And then when I started seeing the live band, going to the rehearsals in downtown NoHo, which is looks completely different than what it used to look like before.
It's way different now. Downtown NoHo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Downtown NoHo. Back then it was just North Hollywood. Now it's downtown NoHo. And to see him perform, and then he would come over my pad, and we would record in my bedroom.
And you had a bass in your closet too.
Yeah, my dad. My dad played the bass.
That's right.
My dad plays the bass. Did play the bass. So we had a bass. So music was always in my family. I know music's always been in JBZ because JBZ, your dad is a...
Yeah, my dad's a drummer. Definitely put me up on it, at a young age. My dad put everything in my hands. Like my first instrument was a piano, but I sucked. I was just...
Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah. But the family were like, oh, he gonna be something. He gonna be something, He gonna be the next Quincy Jones and shit. And I'm like,
yes,
really?
Well,
y'all putting too much pressure on me,
Had a baby.
As a baby. It's like, come on now. But yeah.
And then from there we started making music together, and then years later, with the idea of Curly, we kind of put all the little pieces together. Curls, shout out to Curls.
Yeah.
Shout out to Curls, our first manager. When we were Saber Productions, or the Saber Productions band, or whatever the hell we were, SPMG. Yeah, we had the names, bro. The names. But the journey has been fun. Because those pieces were put together, and we ended up performing. That's what made us perform at the Key Club with artists like Willie, F. Dot, Joe Dirt. The Hustle team over there with Joe Dirt.
Yep. I definitely got to add, man, one of the best shows I've ever played. And when we did that show, it was my dream. Because
I'll put the link in the description for sure.
100%. Best show because it was what I've always wanted to do, play for a hip-hop band. And that was my dream come true right there.
And the crowd was hype.
Facts.
Yeah.
Big
crowd
facts.
was hype. We took the energy out of that room, and they were just...
And we did it real hip-hop style. How many motherfuckers was on stage, bro?
A whole bunch of mofos on stage. Was it like 5 of y'all? No, it was you. The band was a band. Yeah. Plus, 4 artists?
Yeah. And it was I don't know.
Yeah.
And we opened up for Sin Dog.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
We stole the show. Yeah. I think we were the only act that had a full band.
Yeah. And the reason the idea came up because we were just like... we thought that he was gonna have a band also.
That
so
part,
I was like that'd be kind of cool. We came with it too.
Because he usually does. Send Dog. Yeah, he usually has a band.
So we just grabbed this pieces that we have now, and then we, did our own thing for a while. Primo, I was started. We always make beats anyways. We always make music. And Primo came over and added some stuff, and JBZ saw it. We put a video up, and JBZ's like, man, y'all doing stuff? Like, yeah, man, come through. And like brothers, we just connected again. And that's what
that part
the Music Factory is.
So I want to hear a little bit about what was your starting. Where did you start recording?
Where?
Okay. How did you first started making beats?
Was I the first one out of us three, or who? When did you start making beats?
just back in the day.
Well, when did you start making beats?
Well,
because I was just saying, who was the first one to actually?
I was. I'm trying to throw a guess here, but I was around 15, 14.
Okay.
That's when my parents had already
16.
bought me a piano.
Okay.
They bought my first piano. By the way, I took lessons for a whole year before they bought me a piano. Yeah.
Well, yeah, man.
Yeah,
Miguel wants to know that you're putting in the work.
Yeah, that was my parents. Like, hey,
we're
gonna pay for lessons, but if you don't see improvement, you ain't getting no piano.
Well, that's what happened with Vero, my sister.
Yeah.
They bought her a keyboard for her to go and do lessons. She didn't end up using it. And that's what was my first beat making machine.
Oh,
so
well, that worked out.
Yeah.
But
thanks, mom and pops.
Yeah. My parents were like, hey, we want to see that you're doing, because
yeah, for sure.
we grew up poor. We come from humble beginnings. Yeah,
yes, sir.
And it's like, hey, we're buying you an expensive professional. It wasn't professional. It was like a $500.
What was it though? It was a Yamaha.
Yamaha PSR 510.
But if you have a Yamaha, that was a good
Yamaha.
Was a good thing.
Yeah, with the speakers on.
Yeah, because if you had a Casio, that's a whole different. That's the beginning one. But you got Yamaha.
I mean, yeah. No, thank God I got some good suggestions, and that's a good keyword. Buy it from my teacher back then.
Nice.
But and then after a year of taking lessons, they bought my keyboard, and I was so intrigued about the keyboard, just what it could do, the sound, and So I started recording MIDI, by the way, first. No audio, it's just MIDI. Just started recording MIDI because my keyboard was one of the first ones to have like a sequencer. Mm-hmm. So it was
we might have had the same one. Because my Spiritos was a sequencer. It had a drum machine too, all built into one.
You can record the drum machine and in each part, and this is cool. Mm-hmm. But I'm old school. I actually started recording on cassette tapes. That's when
cassette tapes for sure. We would get the 99-cent cassette tapes. Shout out to 99-cent store.
99 cents.
Or the ones we didn't buy. Shout out to them too.
Yeah. I remember buying and started making little mixtapes and techno, and back then there was also a wave of deep house.
Yeah, that was deep house days.
Deep house. So, yeah. I was like, okay.
DJ Irene.
Yeah.
DJ Humpty Vision. I remember those days.
But yeah, I started recording cassette.
Mm-hmm.
In 1998, we got our first.
Yes, we're old, sir. People.
Yeah.
All the youngsters. Yeah, we're up there.
You can look up the Presarios, compact Presarios.
Yeah.
Computers.
Yeah.
That was my first.
Yeah. Windows 95.
No,
99.
98.
It was 98, but Windows Millennium.
ME? Is that the ME?
Before the ME, yeah.
ME, yeah.
Millennium.
Millennium.
And I used to, and the first DAW that I remember recording was, man, I just blanked out on the name.
Coedit?
No, that was way after. Audacity.
Oh, yeah, Audacity.
That
was a version of, I think, Acid, no?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know who has them.
Yeah, all right.
But it was only two tracks, I believe, you can only record.
Oh, okay.
And only like 5 minutes. And so for me, that was...
Yeah.
I was like, hey, 2 tracks, that was fun for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it. I think that's where like I started exploring the world of DAW and audio engineering and all that recording.
Yeah. So Audacity was the first one for you.
Yeah. And then of course I kept moving up.
Yeah. After you find out one, you start going down the rabbit hole and you start, oh, this one does better. This one's better. This one's better.
Then I discovered Morpheus, if you remember.
What, Morpheus?
And Kazaa.
Oh, well, yeah, that's not to
Morpheus,
download, to download music and to rip music off the internet. It's kind of a version of Napster.
Yeah.
But
and that's where I started. I'm sorry, guys, but I did. I did try the crack. I did try the cracked.
Oh, the crack version.
The crack version of these softwares.
Yeah, that's how I got Reason.
Yeah,
as a torrent. My first DAW. Well, we first started with the keyboard, as we were talking earlier. From there, same thing. You should record, make beats, program them, hook them up to a tabletop, Iowa, whatever those things are called, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then make the beat tapes. I would pass them around high school. That's how I got known in high school for beat making. And then I got introduced to a friend named Jonathan. He showed me Coetta Pro.
Coetta Pro, nice.
Yeah, and I didn't have a computer at the time, so my dad at that moment, around that time was, they had bought me a tower and everything at the swap meet, and it didn't come with a CD drive, so we bought that separate, and that CD drive came with a disc of programs, and one of the programs was Coetta Pro.
Oh.
So, but it wasn't the full version. It was just not the multi-track, just a regular version.
Yeah. And
that's how I started making beats on the computer.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then through Johnny, we got introduced to Acid, the program that I kind of still use now. One of the creators or a friend of the creators of Acid, and he gave us Acid, the original Sonic Foundry Acid, with the boxes of all the extra sounds. So, and after that, got introduced to Reason, and then Reason and Logic, and then since then, I just do Reason and Logic. Well, I want to get into Logic too, but Reason and Logic almost the same thing anyways. But yeah, Reason is my DAW of choice. What about you, JB?
Mine was Acid and Cool Edit Pro, because of this cat right here, Lex. He put me up on.
Pass it around the pirateria around.
Yeah.
Hey, you can have it. You can have it. You can have it.
Yeah, burnt me the CD.
Yep.
With the plug-ins on them.
Yep.
Yeah, started doing that. Later got introduced to Cubase 3 SX, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was like Cubase 3. I really cut my teeth on Cubase 3, yeah, and I've been using Cubase ever since,
I'm a master at it too, just by the way.
Not yet.
Because you record, you do all that stuff on there.
So still to this day, and it's funny because a lot of people will talk shit about Cubase. And I still see even live bands that will record in Cubase, like, Pro Tools.
Yeah.
Sometimes that'll be the DAW that they use, mixing, mastering, and everything. But it's looked down upon, apparently, in the DAW world, but it is what it is. You work with what you work with.
Exactly.
But I like the fact that people record bands in it, at the same time. It's like, a lot of my favorite bands, they do their pre-production in it, if not final production. Yeah. So
it must give out a good. Well, I mean, it gives out a good sound. The shit that Jay Beezy brings to the table, that shit is fire. And take pause and smacks. So. It is. I love, and that's another thing I love about us is that we all have a different DAW that we go to, or we can go to multiple DAWs.
Yeah.
But we have, y'all come to my world, I come to y'all world, pause, and then, that's what I like about us, because we're multi-talented when it comes to that. And then it's dope that Primo also not now, but he's been recording vocals and getting into the whole EQing and stuff like that. That's a different monster.
It's definitely a different world.
Yeah, a different world from just making music, beat making. Because at that point, you want to make, that's we do the beginning parts, the production and, the songwriting, the composing and stuff like that. But then you get into the actual nitty gritty of recording vocals and making sure everything's in pocket. And, that's a different world. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think back when one grew up and how things have changed now.
Oh yeah.
Like there's a lot that you gotta learn.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just recently, what is it, like 2 years ago, I got Logic. For a while, I was doing GarageBand.
Oh yeah.
And then you go into Logic and like, whoa, this is a whole different beast.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but just how we thought about making beats. The whole thing just changed.
Yeah.
Over the time, and how I think nowadays so easy to make a beat. I mean, talking about plugins, there's plugins now that make beats for you.
Skirt into plugins.
Plugins. I have a complaint. Recently, I've been having some bad experiences with some plugins.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they have yeah. How can I put it? So there's been
Are you talking about when they crash?
Yeah. So what I'm hearing, by the way, I heard that they are discontinuing any updates with VSTs. Only VST 3s.
Yeah.
But the regular VSTs?
VST 2s?
No.
Yeah.
So if you have, I feel bad for those that like have a library of just VSTs, because a lot of the software now they're not gonna work
anymore.
No,
and that's the crazy part, because that's one thing that Primo was talking about, how the Mac Mini 4 M4, like how things progress and get smaller and bigger, like the less things work with the newer stuff, right? Is that what we're talking about? I know you kept talking about a couple months ago.
That's how I feel. Like I feel that in 3 years, whatever we think it's new, it's like,
oh yeah, for sure.
I'm like, oh,
the way things are just in and out, as you can tell. Like we're in a not a season, but with these years coming up, the whole AI is now integrated to these plugins. Where we see where it's not really much a lot of, like Primo said, the beat making side is the easy part now. A lot of things can be done by just typing in a few words, but you know we're old school. We like the VSTs. We like to bring up old things that, you know, different sounds from different things, and then we know for sure. Well, I know for sure. Primo loves to buy the libraries.
I do
Black Friday sales.
I do like to spend time finding some bundles on sale.
Yeah.
But you know what? I've been here's the thing. I've been discovering that a lot of these bundles go for sale because they're about to be discontinued, and so there's a new version coming out that it works with the newer update of whatever software you're using, and now you have to buy it. You know, it's like, but I have it already. Why can't you just... No, you have to buy the new... You have to buy the update. It's like, that sucks.
Yeah. Like I bought Reason, November? And then 3 months later, the 13 came out. And they said anybody that purchased it prior to January cannot upgrade. So
for a certain price, right?
No, because they were giving free upgrades for people that purchased it, I think December or January, and I got it in November. Yeah, and then what else? I had a complaint about plugins too.
That sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. But yeah, the bundle stuff for sure is the reason why they do it. Of course, is to get it out there and make more money. Because new stuff is definitely coming out.
And I think there can be like a major update with Logic, and then all of a sudden, all these third-party plugins don't work.
Yep.
And now I can't open my previous projects because so I have to redo some of the sounds with the newer
different ones.
Yeah.
Talking about plugins, not all plugins work for every DAW, even though it might say that it does. Just to let you know, definitely purchase some like chord plugins that only work with like FL. That's not bueno.
Well, I say this: do your research.
Yeah,
do your research.
Don't just pull the trigger like I do.
Yeah,
some dumb shit.
Yeah, because sometimes it can be a hit or miss.
Yeah.
But yeah, do your research. There's a bunch of resources on YouTube. There's a bunch of people I watch and I hear their comments and their experience with some of the plugins. the good stuff will cost a good penny.
Yeah. You can tell what the good stuff is. It's like over 200.
I took the risk with some of the cheaper plugins, and some of them, okay. But you know, with the if you pay a little bit more, you definitely will get some good bang for your buck.
Bang for your buck.
Yeah. So don't go as an artist, and to all artists, don't go cheap.
Invest in yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't want to cheapen out, and then things like this, like a new update happens, and all of a sudden, this is an old VST or old software. We're doing a new one, and you got to pay for that one.
And then another thing, there's a lot of programs now out there. If you can't afford it all at once, there's a lot of programs out there now where you can do payments on it. So, you know, just to give a heads up to all the young guys, they're like, man, I can't afford. Man, if you can afford $10, just stop eating at McDonald's once a month, and that'll cover your plugin. Especially a good plugin.
Yes. And now there's places where you can record. You don't even have to have a DAW. You can just, there's places where you make an account and you can record on the internet. Like,
yeah, the what's it called? Those programs on the phone.
Yeah.
You can just record yourself. I forgot the name of that DAW or whatever, but there's some artists were signed, and then also the Gemini artist off the homie for Tyler the Creator, Angel.
Shout out to Angel.
Shout out to Angel. The 1/4. But yeah, he records off his iPhone. He puts it on GarageBand on his iPhone. Steve Lacy.
Yeah.
Damn, I can't believe we forgot that. Steve Lacy. But he records on his iPhone. So there's so many ways, like Primo said, where you can record. You don't need a full setup. You can do it on. You use wired iPhone headphones, GarageBand on your cell phone. You just need to get a small adapter, plug it into your phone, and you start making music.
If we made a tape,
exactly.
Back in the day, we made that work,
and that's crazy because we didn't even find it. Like, we didn't go to YouTube because, of course, YouTube wasn't around. We just out of our own creativity in mind, we're like, yo, this could work. We plug this to this and plug this to this. We're ahead of our game pretty much.
Oh yeah, I remember a bunch of cables and patching, and all right, this is gonna go to the keyboard and the stereo.
And Radio Shack was one of my favorite stores
to
go to get
Radio Shack. Shout out to Radio Shack. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
I miss that place, but I remember going there to get adapters, cables, and extensions, and just to. Cause
when you can see the big old mixer, I'm like, damn, I want one of those. Like, the little knobs you can pull up to take the lows down, the mids, the highs.
I used to be enchanted. I'd be like, I just want that. What is that? I don't know, but I just want it.
You want that one for sure.
It looks cool. It'll look cool on my desk or something, you know.
There you go.
But yeah, because I remember, even though recording MIDI was cool, I want to record some vocals and some other stuff, and this keyboard doesn't do that, so I had to get the tape and get a little Radio Shack microphone.
Yeah, 1 2 1 2.
All distorted like this. Hello, check.
I was talking to Angel about this like a couple weeks ago. I want to find my tapes. I see my mom has my tapes. Do you have your tapes?
You know what? I don't know. So I stopped doing tapes because one of them got stolen at school. Yeah, somebody stole one of my tapes, and they wanted I was trying to because there was a lot of during lunch. There was always these little clips that were like freestyling and trying to rap. And so I'm like, this is my opportunity to tell them,
Oh, what high school did you go to?
Van Nuys High School, by the way.
Nice.
Shout out to Van Nuys High School. That's where I started. And I lent one of my tapes. And funny that somebody lent it to someone else, and it just that
shit works. It's like a fire.
Yeah, but by the time it came back around, somebody was claiming that it was theirs. It was like
same fucking story.
It was like, oh yeah, my homie made this beat. Like, what? Who?
Isn't that crazy? That's like playing what's it called? Telephone?
Yeah. I was like, and I'm trying to get this name. Like, who
produces?
Yeah. This? Oh yeah, my homie, he did it. He has a studio and everything. He made this beat. Like, that's my tape, right?
It says Nestor on it on the tape.
Yeah, it's all scratched out. I was like, and I'm like, and from there I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm just gonna not keep my tapes to myself. But from there on, I stopped recording tapes. Yeah, but I don't know what happened to them.
No,
I have to look for
that's
them.
my mom.
Yeah, same thing.
But same thing happened to me. Actually, mine was at that moment we were recording all the my house. We were recording all the local high school people, and in my bedroom, and they smoked out my room, so my room smelled like weed. But yeah, that CD went around, and people were saying the same thing. Like yo, we heard this one beat, this one record over here, and I'm like, yeah, that's mine. No, it's not, because it was on CD. So man, we were ahead of the game, like we were ahead of the game. We had a CD burner, but that time I bought an HP.
Okay.
So you had the compact
Presario,
and I had the HP one, the one that were in gray and purple.
Yeah.
Like those were like the high end ones, whatever.
Yeah.
And because I was working at Sears in the computer department, so I saw that it was like a open box.
Yeah.
So
What about you, JBZ? Tell us a story about how you started recording.
Shoot, I started recording when I had my band, and I would.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I would write little things on Acid Pro. Yeah, that's about it. Started making beats here and there. So back then, I didn't have a MIDI controller, so we had to literally cut and paste the drums. Put the kick drum right there. Map out the drums. I hated it. I couldn't wait to get a MIDI controller and start using MIDI. But yeah, I mean, through those difficult times, that's like Stone Age beat making right there.
Yeah.
But then the OGs before us, they had their ways of producing back in the day. But
outboard gear.
Yeah, but for us back in the day, they were using outboard gear. They didn't have a screen in front of them.
Nah.
Our generation, we had a screen. You could see the sounds, see the wave, and everything. So
that was the game changer to be able to see the wave. Yeah,
real talk. And after that, just went on from there. Start producing beats. I didn't write my first rap that was actually sounding dope. Shoot, like. I think I was like 20. Yeah, first time I recorded my first beat I made, and I actually rapped on it.
Nice.
Yeah, so, and I still have that somewhere. But
we find the stuff, we just bring it in, and they can share it.
100%.
We can load it up to our YouTube video.
And I recorded that on a Shure 58. Yeah, I recorded on a Shure, which is you don't really record on that, but I made it work.
Yeah.
And
we were at that age where we had to make it work.
Actually, it's funny because I did it on Cubase.
Oh, okay.
But I still used Cool Edit Pro. Because you have to, what was the compressor? Close and Tight?
Yeah, Close and Tight.
I recorded on Cubase, and then I, put it on Cool Edit Pro to,
Yeah.
Well, I really didn't have to do that because there was compressors and equalizers on
Cubase.
We
were so used to using that.
Yeah.
That, what was it called? Vocal chain.
Yep.
Of the compressor, and add a little reverb and some echo or whatever. But it made, that plugin made your vocals really, like, present in front of the beat.
You shocked me because I remember when I first saw you recording, and you had the old school computer mic.
Yeah.
And I was shocked that, like, bro, this sounds like radio ready. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it can be done.
Yeah.
Without going to a studio.
Yeah.
So, but
shout out to the first ones to do that, man.
Oh yeah.
At that time, everybody was like, "Yo, we got to go to the studio."
Yeah.
And it was like, "Yo, we could just do it ourselves."
Because the fact that I saw that and I was like, it sounded so good. Because I mean, when I see that mic, I expected it to come out all trashy and distorted, But you had that down right, bro. And so
that shit was crazy.
From that moment on, I was like, it can be done on a shoestring budget, I guess you would say back in the day.
Yeah.
But it sounded dope.
Yeah.
So
for sure. And that's our backstory of that. We wanted to get into more. Every episode we would talk about. We talk about some tech stuff too, because Primo is really be into tech, and he brings me along. So is JBZ.
100%.
The next thing we're gonna talk about that we, go into is the state of the music now, as producers, as composers.
Definitely. I got a lot to say about
as artists. Shit, good thing you have the mic.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, when we do that. But one thing I want to tap in on, because earlier, I said, beat making. I don't consider us beat makers. We are songwriters.
No, we're not.
We're songwriters. It just so happens that we're definitely heavily in the hip hop genre, and you call that beat making, but we're more than just beat makers. We're producers.
Yeah,
we give direction.
We're last of the dying breed, to be honest.
That part, bro, like for real, and and just real quick, I like to touch on is these days you have to do everything. Back in the day, you can get away with just being a beat maker.
Yeah.
But now it's like you gotta, I think you touched on it a little earlier. We gotta learn mixing.
Yeah.
We gotta learn mastering because stuff gets expensive, and it actually makes sense. Like a Travis Scott or Dr. Dre, you gotta learn.
Finances.
Yeah.
Budgeting.
Yeah. Seriously,
budgeting,
bro.
yeah.
Like artists that do it all, I take my hat off to them because, shoot, real quick, I bought beats from Lex when I did my project.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yeah, I can make my own beats, but I'm a beat snob. Sometimes the beats I make, I don't like to rap on them. I'm like, I made this for somebody else.
Yeah.
So for me doing that, I bought beats from Lex, so I could take the stress off of making a beat that I like to rap to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just picked his beats. But yeah, it's a lot. And we have to be all things to everything nowadays. We just can't do it. I still want to outsource. I don't care. I'll make a beat and send it to somebody that can mix that shit right.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now.
That's a great idea because that's a different ear. Somebody can pick something up from that.
Yeah, facts.
Because to be honest, a lot of shit right now sounds the same.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Everything sounds the same. So if you have different ears, get a rock engineer to do hip hop. Maybe they'll give you a different dynamic, or vice versa. If you do pop music, get a hip hop producer, hip hop engineer that's good at has the ears up for that to maybe make that fatter. So many possibilities, so many things you can do.
Yep, it's a lot.
Yeah, but the state of music now. What do you think? As composers, musicians, producers. Well, I kind of said a little bit about it. It's everything to me sounds the same. To me, there's no creativity anymore because of the impact of the producer now makes everything in the sense of like not producers, beat makers. The new age is beat makers where they just make a beat from home, submit it in, and see if it gets picked up. But they all sound the same. And like JB's was saying earlier, we come from that era of taking it somewhere else, maybe give it a different dynamic, make it sound different, just be original. Because everybody right now, to me, sounds like everybody's on a quick scheme of just making money.
Before everybody goes crazy in the comment section.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
There is creativity out there, Lex.
Nah, there ain't no damn creativity.
But I think what Lex means is that no, because they're like there is, and I'm pretty sure there is. But I think what the industry is trying to go for the quickest.
There's no more artist development.
It's all viral. It's all about going viral.
Yeah, going viral.
And something like somebody came up with this song. Everybody else will try to do a song that will mimic or copy the song because that's what's hitting. That's what and like trap music. There's a trap music, and all of a sudden everybody's doing trap.
Yeah,
because they're all trying to what's it called? Add on to the trend, and it makes hopefully be the next hit.
Yeah.
So we lost the passion and the love for originality.
Yeah.
I think right now everybody's trying to get rich quick.
Yeah, quick
the quick fix. The let's do this here, and we'll worry about originality and genuine music later. Like let's what they call the brain rot music.
Yeah, that's another thing. I'm sorry, I'll be the one to cause havoc in this podcast.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Do it. Don't do it.
Okay, do it. These concepts, yo, we gotta stop. It's not just all about killing and quick, like killing.
Thank you.
What else? The other shit, the drug shit. Like, come on, man.
Talk your shit.
Let's get wiser with these concepts, yo. Like,
Thank
look, and this is a perfect example. The quick stuff, in and out. It's good for a month. Good for a couple weeks. Look at Kendrick. Look at Tyler. Look at Steve Lacy. Look at all these artists that have developed themselves to become who they are now, and their relevancy is still here. Like, they're not doing what everybody else is doing. They might make us maybe something similar, so that way they can be relevant to the new age. But everybody looks up to them because of the creativity, their originality. And it goes to show you don't have to be part of the other stuff. You know what I mean?
Not to cut you off, bro,
No.
but definitely, I hate to keep going back to the 90s, but the 90s were considered the renaissance of hip hop.
Yeah.
When it really got its wings.
Yeah.
And one thing I remember from the 90s, I was a kid, I'm an 80s baby, 90s kid.
Yeah.
Is every rapper that came out was different. I grew up with, even as a young kid, crisscross. Motherfuckers could laugh at me all you want, but that was the shit. I even had my hair braided like them. My mom braided my hair like them.
I wanted to put my jeans on backwards.
I tried it once. I was like, this ain't comfortable. This ain't.
How am I going to pee?
Yeah, how am I going to pee? I got to unzip my butt to take a leak. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like, but the 90s, back then, it was looked down upon if you would bite somebody's style. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was different. Yeah. And what hip hop is now, and mind you, what we did back in the day is the reason for what's cracking now. Now, I will say this. Now, reason why a lot of these gangsters, and y'all can come at me in the comments, I don't give a fuck. I'm telling the truth. A lot of these rappers, these gangsters that really, doing their thing in the street. Yeah. And why they want to rap, it's because of Eazy-E. And y'all can hey, we can have this debate. But the reason why is because Eazy-E was a real gangster. Yeah. He didn't even want to rap. They pushed him to rap. Yeah. And the fact that he was a real gangster rapping about the streets is like everybody had this thing was like, I got to be real. Like if you were a fake studio gangster, yeah,
which they were a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. You could talk your shit in the studio, but these days, back then, gangster rappers used to get popped, talking that shit, blah blah blah, rivals, but now it's even worse, like because I look at it like this, if you talk that shit on the mic, somebody's gonna check you for it, Yeah. And do you really want that lifestyle? We had King Von, rest in peace to King Von, Mo 3. I was bumping Mo 3 on the way over here. And
I like Mo 3.
Yeah, and he was sick with it. I believe haters killed him because he was so good in the studio and what he did.
And the court cases.
Yella Beezy.
Yella Beezy.
Yeah. And, but it's just crazy that, there's so much hate in this game that, we lose people for it. So I'm all for the gangster rap and all that, but we definitely need to change, like Lex said, because I'm just gonna pop my shit, bro. I can't stand Sexy Red. I can't stand and hopefully this don't fuck up any future goals, but I'm just gonna talk my shit because I was watching another podcast, I forget what it was, but they were talking about Sexy Red and Suki Hana, these new female rappers, and it definitely makes women look bad. We got hoes rapping, and we have hoes rapping because, I guess they want a voice now. They have a voice now. We had hoes rapping back in the day, but it wasn't the majority. Now it's just all you hear on the radio, and it's like, you got little girls under 12, talk about booty hole brown and shit. And it's like, okay, that's not good. You know, like, come on now. Like,
welcome to 2025.
Yeah, like you that's not good. You setting these kids up, you know, and all these kids when they see that, and not saying that artists have to be role models. Nobody in the industry, entertainment industry, have to be role models, you know. But
after a time, it gets boring.
It does. It gets boring
if you keep doing the same thing.
Yeah,
that's why I believe, and this is the reason Kanye West had a breakthrough, because hip hop was just about drug dealing and
that part, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Kanye West, well, I'm not a drug dealer. I'm just I'm just a rapper who wants to make it, and they're telling me to go to college and so I can make it. And he and a lot of people during that generation identify with him because like I don't want to. We're not gangsters. We like hip hop, and we're struggling to find our way, not through drugs and all this ghetto stuff, but through a life of supposedly going to college and being the best. And then you got Kanye over here talking about go to school and drop out of college, which is one of my favorite albums. College Dropout.
Yep.
And that's why he made a hit, because it was something different. It wasn't just the common. The pimp and the player and drugs and all the drug dealing and shooting and violence. Is like, for a moment, hip hop was getting tired of that. So definitely something needs to happen. Something different has to change. Because it's not doing so well. The industry is not doing so well.
And you know what? Rappers, don't be afraid to be yourself. And I want to clear this up because it's not like I'm shitting on ratchet rap. I'm just gonna call it ratchet rap because I like ratchet rap too. I
think it all has its time and place.
Yeah, it does. But when it's too much of it, it's like, what else you saying?
Yeah.
Say something else. But maybe that's all they have because that's all they know, and I understand that. But definitely, I know with this rap shit, bro. Like, even when I rap, and from hearing Lex rapping, because I was blessed to be around my friends, but I would love to bump my friends' music, because it was dope. It was like my friends are doing this, so like even as when I rap, I put time in my rhymes, bro. If I'm rapping about money, I'm gonna put some bars in it or make you laugh or whatever, and put some time in it. I'm gonna be honest, because I heard they just released, I think a couple weeks ago, Lefty Gunplay had a new track. They played it on 92.3.
Is that the one where I'm not right? I'm Lefty Gunplay?
Something like, well, the hook had some singing on it. It was,
okay, I don't know.
The hook was the best part of the song, and it was singing. But the rhymes, from my ears, was trash. Because I was expecting him to come better. Kendrick, gave him a shot, and I was just okay, maybe we're gonna tap in, but it was medieval times, bro. It was mid, and I feel that some rappers are just happy being hood famous, Some
that too.
Yeah, they just want their homies to see them shine or whatever. But I'm beyond that. Like I definitely respect artists that are actually putting time into their words,
But there's definitely a time and place for everything.
Definitely.
But you see what lasts longer, which is the ones that have been putting, like, they have a story. They have a story. King Von had a story.
Yeah.
Well, rest in peace.
Joyner Lucas is one of my favorites.
Joyner Lucas is dope. He has a story.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this ratchet stuff. And me having a daughter, that's another thing too.
Exactly.
Once you start having kids, it's like, ooh.
It changes you.
Yeah, it does change you. We come from the 90s. A little description about that is like, yeah, we come the 90s. Well, that's when things were, blowing up for hip hop and the non-biters, like JB said. But then it went into hustling music, which hustling music. You go out there, you working, you put money in your pocket, and then from there went from drug dealing music, and then from drug dealing music it went to drug using music. The drug using music went into ratchet music. And now, and the women that we grew up to listen to was like Queen Latifah, Yo-Yo,
MC Lyte,
positive things to say about women, especially black women, brown women.
Can't forget about the Brat.
The Brat. Oh my goodness, the Brat was ahead of its time.
Oh yeah. Chicago West Side.
There you go.
Where I was born.
JB. That's what I said. I was about to say JB forgot to put that out there when his background. He from the Chi-Town,
Cook County.
There you go. And then, you know what I mean. So we came from these positive, strong women, strong men, either brown or black, to what it is now. You know what I mean? And you know, it's scary. Like we love what we do, but we definitely see what is not good for our people. You know what I mean? But like I say, everything has a time and place. We all like to party. We all like to have fun. But for it to be the main music that our children are listening to, especially because there's no filter, that's when the parent in me kicks in and it's like, yo, you know, we got to have some more positive things going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, guys, welcome.
Yeah.
Part two. So right before we got off, we started getting deep into
the industry.
The industry itself and how we see it. And this, you know, from our point of view. And one thing that JBZ brought up was the Sexy Red, the artist. You know, like I said, there's time and place for everything, but it just seems like they push more for... They push the button down more for stuff like that. And we're not too happy about that, to be honest.
Well, like I said, it was like the quick money.
Yeah,
like all
quick money.
This makes the money right now. So
yeah,
they never think about the repercussions this may have for pushing certain agendas.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? This makes money right now. So I don't know.
Yeah. The gatekeeping.
There's definitely there's a lot of gatekeeping in the industry. From what I hear, what I've been hearing a lot, I've been going on a rabbit hole with YouTube. Guys, I am serious advice. Prepare for that rabbit hole on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
because I mean,
the conspiracy theories.
Yeah, conspiracy theories. Just
One
how
more time.
But it was one of my favorite artists singers is Tori Kelly
and Angels.
Yeah, I was hearing a video on YouTube is saying how come she's popular. She
has her fan base.
She does, and she's well known, but you know, within the industry, she's not like the superstar that she should be.
Yeah,
I think there's a hierarchy that she should have been on, but she's not, because I believe there's a lot of gatekeeping, and there's also a lot of proof that there's been a lot of gatekeeping in the industry.
Yeah,
and it's actually happening with the platforms, the distribution platforms.
Yeah, DSPs.
There's a lot of gatekeeping happening because a lot of people are not getting paid what they're supposed to.
This bullshit ass new rule on fucking you have to have 1,000 spins to get paid now.
The algorithm is crazy how it favors only top artists, but brand new artists or artists that have been working hard for a long time hardly get any chance to be heard. So that's interesting and at the same time terrifying and disheartening.
Yeah.
That
there's definitely, sorry to cut you off. There's definitely a lot of smoke screens.
Yeah.
Because I said por qué? Because
dilo en español.
Bilingual here. You know what I mean? Even JBZ speaks Spanish too. Poquito. But the smoke screen is that the whole DSP, how it came out, was like, yo, we can make money, quick money. Just we can upload whatever you want. You don't need a record label. But what they don't tell you is the actual. You have to invest in yourself and put money behind yourself in order to be in part of those lists. You have to put payola. Yeah. At this point, to be honest, you have to pay to play. Pay for yourself to be on the list. To pay in at one moment, you know, as an artist, musician, you go through those lanes of like, you got to do this, you got to do that. You start doing that, you start doing this. Yeah, there's a lot of smoke screens. That's all I wanted to really say.
But even that, when you have to pay to get some boosting, I mean, it's a hit or miss because the algorithm might not be on your favor.
Yeah, that's true
and
too.
So you just wish or you hope that whenever you release, nobody else is releasing that day.
Yeah, that's true too.
Because a major artist releases and bye bye, any chances of being seen just goes out the window. I think that's what's very discouraging for a lot of artists. I think for me too, that I was like, not only do I have to work hard at making a song, putting something out there, but now I have to fight the algorithm, and hopefully somebody will notice what I've done. And so that's been keeping me or making me hesitant to post anything out. By the way, I am putting something out, but
yes,
patience.
We're all putting each other stuff out. Well, we will soon. You guys will hear soon from all.
And I think like transitioning from tape sales to CDs.
Yeah.
I remember, you used to sell CD and you could sell that $10, and those $10 were yours,
Yeah.
And it's like, and if you sold like 100 of those, all that money that came in was yours,
Yeah.
And now, what is it? You get paid like what, like
.00000000003 per spin.
Yeah, per spin, and at the end of that, even if you get like a couple of thousand, it's only enough to pay for
subscription.
The subscription
for the next year.
Yeah, it's like so it's
a little discouraging.
Very discouraging, very, very, because that's what I see in social media, especially when I follow a lot of artists, and I look at their context. I'm like, hey, this is great. But they just have a hard time, and that's where, like, I think that's why I'm glad that I'm part of this team, because I'm not doing this by myself.
Yeah, that's nothing. Teamwork.
We motivate each other, and we kind of it helps give us a how can I say, it's each other is a stepping stone to go up and move forward, because it's hard, especially when you're in a world that's changing faster than what we can keep up.
Yeah.
That's like, I'm barely getting the hang of the social media thing.
Oh shit!
And I work with kids, man. We work with kids, and these kids are like, they're going viral.
Yeah.
Like, how you do that? It's like
we're that generation now. Like, hey,
I swear.
How you do that? Can you program this on my phone? What app are you using now? That type of shit. Especially now with TikTok, you know what I mean? Picking back off of Primo, like the whole crew. Now we got to create music and DSPs. Now we got to create a dance for our song and
create
music.
A dance. We have to, one of the guys I've been hearing a lot, he's right on a lot of what he says, Gary Vee.
Yeah, Gary Vee.
He says you got to post 3 times a day, 3 times an hour, and things like that. And if you need a break through the internet, through the algorithm, sorry.
Yeah.
And it's true. You got to work harder than you used to. Because things are changing now, and what's popping this week is not popping the next week, and you got to change your whole approach to things. So, but at our age,
yeah,
it's like, I wish I was in my 20s. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry, I am not in my 20s. I know
we can't give it away. We're all born in the 80s.
Just I know, just in case somebody was over there hoping I was younger, but no. Back in our 20s, I had the energy, I had the time.
Yeah,
and that's I could have. But now that I'm like, no, you know what? I have other things going on.
We got responsibilities.
Yeah.
That's what it is. We got bills to pay. When we were 20, for sure.
But one thing I learned is that this is a quote that says that multitasking, and that's why I'm not a big believer in multitasking. I believe in doing things at a time, because multitasking is an opportunity for messing more than one thing at a time.
Yeah. I try to multitask.
Nah, it's a disaster. It's like, so it's like one at a time, even if it takes longer. It's guaranteed that it will happen more than just multitasking. It's too much of a gamble.
Yeah.
So
and nowadays you have to though. That's the crazy part.
That's why you have to have a team, and that's why we're trying to network with other people. Try to get to know who does what.
Yeah.
And
learn from each other. Learn from other people.
Network each other. And
shout out to PD Beats.
Yeah. And thank you for those that are opening themselves up to learn from each other because we need each other.
Yeah.
In this world, especially because moving is too fast for me, and I have bad knees, bro.
I think we all at this age we all have bad knees, except JBZ.
Yeah. and you know what? And especially we're not competing with people. We're not just competing with people our own age. We're competing with people that are younger.
Yeah.
Who have the energy, who have the time, who have the money, who have the resources. And I'm like, dang it. It's like double the work.
Yeah. And another thing too, we're supposed to be the OGs for the new generation, but this new generation is crazy.
It's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole different thing.
Yeah, it's a whole different world.
But you know what? I want to talk to you about some of the challenges.
Okay.
That it's been
on your mind. What do you think?
Well, just that I've been observing is a lot of artists are not putting out stuff as much because, that's one of the reasons, because of the algorithm.
Yeah.
And distribution, and of course, it's also disheartening to hear that a lot of these distribution platforms are like being shady, not paying.
Yeah. What it's worth.
Yeah.
Our music is definitely worth a lot more than .0000.
Yeah, and the fact that they're prioritizing whoever pays more. Not only that, but the algorithm and then AI too is like beating our butts. And then also, when you want to make music, you don't make music for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to make music to please others. You don't want to make music to be the next thing. You just want to make music and have people listen to it and appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah.
I want you to hear me. I don't want you to hear who I can sound like, but I just want you to hear me.
Well, too many people have too many opinions nowadays. That's the problem.
Yeah. Especially, I'm looking at you guys in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's too many opinions in the sense of, like that part where it's like, oh, you sound like this, or you could do this, or you could do that. We've been doing music for over 20 years, so we kind of have an idea of what we want to make and what we want to create.
Yeah.
Your opinion, yes, we appreciate your opinion, but does it really matter?
And the thing is that when they start telling you, oh, you should do what so and so is doing.
Yeah.
If you do that, then you get lost in that
sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like,
oh, hell yeah.
Then what's you're trying to be genuine to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you're trying to be true to yourself and say, oh, this is what I do. This is what I like. This is kind of my world.
You start losing your spark.
Yeah, yeah.
The spark of your creativity, and you get into the mud with everybody else.
Yeah, yeah.
And the mud is deep, and there's a lot of people that do mud shit. But that's what makes you stand out, is what your creativity is and what you do. So,
challenge has been that a lot of artists are not putting things out, and so it's hard to find collab with people.
Yeah.
I don't want to say this, but I don't want to mention I don't want to mention this. I don't want to mention the people or the event that we went to. But remember that event we went?
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a networking with different producers and different artists. And
you go ahead. Say it. Not where we went, but tell the story.
But I'm starting greeting people, and one of the things that stood out was that they're like, "Oh, what kind of music you do?" And I was like, "Well, I don't really do. I don't belong in a genre.
Yeah,
I do everything. But when it came time to show their beats or their music, it was trap music.
It was the same shit as everybody else's.
Everybody was showing the same style of music.
Yeah,
and it's like, wait, I thought you you do hip hop. That's what you do. That's just say that you do hip hop, you know. Or I just don't want to, you know, identify with just one genre. Like, well, it's okay. It's okay if you have multiple genres that you do or that you work with. But it's funny that was kind of like, oh, I don't belong to a genre. But when they show their music, it was hip hop.
It was definitely trap.
Trap music,
melodic track.
And it's funny because also everybody also sounded the same. Yeah. It's like, you know what?
I think when we played our stuff, it sounded like a breath of fresh air. Like these guys are different. Yeah,
we totally did. What's going on out there that people are like, oh, they want to disassociate from us being labeled as certain, which I understand because sometimes they, I think with one of the artists, people are saying, oh, you do sad music and you're too sad. It's like, and
I know an artist just like that.
And it's not that you're sad. It's just that that's what they do. That's what they want. But you do more. Yeah. And that's one of the things that a challenge is to find different artists to collaborate with. Yeah. Because often these artists, they look at your stuff and like, oh, you do West Coast. I'm like, yeah, but I also do other stuff. Yeah. Like, no, I'm looking for something else. And it's like, and then they already kind of closed that door already. Like, oh, no, he's West Coast. Yeah. It's like, no.
Or like, no. I think what
I do more than that, please.
What Petey was talking about when we were up there is that, remember when he was the story he said about Rob's, shout out to Rob Zuno, where it was like, you show beats to certain people, and then they'll be like, nah, they pass, and then another person, works on it, and they're like, wow, where's that beat? Why didn't you? You know what I mean? It's like, you know, we let you hear it. It's just somebody else had a different vision for it. That type of thing. You know what I mean?
Where you gave them the beat, they sat on it, forgot about it. Yeah. And then they hear it again. It's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the reason why we want to collab, or it's good to collab, because you start to see certain things out of other people's eyes, but definitely also be careful because you get lost. Like we said earlier, we get lost in the sauce. Yeah. I worked with a couple artists that I produced their whole projects, and tell you the beat making, like before the project was created, man, I was flowing. After the project was created, it's just I got stuck because you get stuck in that concept.
Mm-hmm. Why would you say you got stuck?
Because then everything sounds the same after.
Oh, okay.
You know, all the beats, it's like, I don't like this, or you know, it becomes redundant, like Angel said, and as musicians, as creators, we try to make ourselves happy first. Like Primo said, we love what we create first, and then we let, like, you know, share it to the world, or share it to our circle, or share it to whoever you want to share it to. But yeah, you get lost. Yeah. And that's why I kept bringing it up, like, oh, you get lost in the sauce, because I've been in that situation, not once, multiple times, and then you got to kind of get out of it and get back into the routine of creating music.
No, I feel it.
We do have a song of the week. We can't really play it. It's going to be our first video, but we'll put the link, I guess, in the description. Song of the week is Certified, the new one that he came out with. Sorry, yeah. Shout out to Austin, Texas. It's called Getting To It, Certified. We can only play 10 seconds of it. And that's 10 seconds. All right, Certified, Getting To It. Go to your DSPs, listen to it, download it, play the shit out of it. He's making a lot of noise. The OG from Austin. Met him out here through Hollow Visions and East of the River, because they met each other at South by Southwest. That's another place we need to go. There's a lot of things in our to-do list. South by Southwest in Austin. That's where it's like networking at its finest. Hopefully, they say it's going back to what it used to be, because the prior years has been kind of dull, but this year was really good and successful. So shout out to them. Shout out to Certified, my bro. I lived out in San Antonio for a year. And I went to go visit them all the time because it's only a 45-minute drive from San Antonio to Austin. So shout out to Certified. Besides that, anything you guys want to leave or say for this episode?
I'm interested in this journey, this path we have chosen.
Yeah, exactly. We're a podcast of another, multiple podcasts that are out there, but we definitely have our own thing because we really like to talk about music, DAWs, plugins. We like to talk about the state of the music now. Yeah, and you'll learn from us. We do have a lot of knowledge, so stay close, listen to us. There's gonna be a lot of things posted on our new Music Factory YouTube channel.
Also follow us on Instagram. The Music Factory 818. And Nestorius Music.
Nestorius.
And we got
JBZ, but my Instagram handle is JBizzle.
BYZZLE.
Exactly.
There you go. And then mine is just my name, Lex Esquivel _ You look it up. But if you go to Music Factory, the Music Factory 818, our links are on there. You go follow us, share your mom, tell your mama, to your grandma, to your sister, to your girlfriend, to your boyfriend, tell whoever. We're here to stay.
Yeah, we're here active on the 818.
Yes, sir. Well, yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Everybody. See you guys soon.
Take care.
Peace.